Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Mayegun live. The brunch time. So thank you so much for joining me. Remember, I kind of love to remind everyone anyway, as you are tuning in, after reading the caption of the broadcast, please read the description as well. Then like the broadcast. Share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them all that it's live. It is brunch time. You can be part of it too. You can be part of it too by dialing the number right there on the screen after sharing, liking, and all that. Tell everybody that Mayegun today. Godfather is in. So yesterday in Kaduna, the APC, Egbekegbe's caucus, their governors, political appointees from northern Nigeria, they gathered in order to counter the spreading, popularity of the coalition ADC. So they went there to remind their people that no matter how much the opposition is trying to make them hate Thiefnubu, now let's define the hate. Thiefnubu's regime, starting from Bokwari's regime, plunged Nigeria into a generational poverty, indebtedness. Thiefnubu continued from where Bokwari stopped. People are living in extreme poverty. Now, condemning such government is not hate, but they have managed to gaslight a lot of you, blackmail a lot of you to believe that criticizing Kolu is tantamount to hating him, or rejecting the fraudulent statistics that they have been releasing that never really, correspond or matches the reality on ground. So it is not hate. So now they went to talk to their people and reminded them of, that Thiefnubu is not responsible for whatever they are facing right now, even though he promised to make it better. Did he not? So they want their people to stop supporting any opposition that is planning to remove a call, because according to them, until 2031, northern Nigeria, no one from northern Nigeria should be vying for government, for presidency. Not just that, though. Anyone at all should not dare to try to want to truncate Thiefnubu's time. So because of this, they have reminded their people to ignore the ADC. I have few for you on that. Ribadu was there too, where he gave a testimony of how his own brother has been traveling all over the northern Nigeria without any incident. And because of that, Nigeria is safe. All you have to do right now, click that share button and tell everybody that's Mayegun today. So thank you. And that is where we are going to start this afternoon. I want to take care of any form of, audio fluctuation as well. So I'm going to hold this as close as possible. So, brethren, welcome to the brunch time with Mayegun. And if you have read the description after the caption and you've shared, liked, and all that, I want to say a big thank you to you. So now let's get started. Yesterday, since majority of the Ronokus have been doing like working overtime to impress it on everyone that there is this unwritten pact that Nigerians, whether they know about it or not, there's an unwritten pact that Thiefnubu, right, would do his 8 years. And because of that, the Ronokus have been telling everybody who care to listen, right, that Thiefnubu is going nowhere, whether you like it or not. In that same breath, they are, as the stats or the statistics shows of the ruined economy they have, they continue to give themselves a pat on the back that they are doing so well. You get what I mean? And whoever is not saying it, in fact, one of Thiefnubu's ministers, the one for education or miseducation, so that one went on TV yesterday to tell Nigerians that Thiefnubu has done so well, but Nigerians are blind. It's because they are blind. People are blind. That's why he said, and I just have to believe that Nigerians are blind. And because they are blind, they can't see. And because maybe they are partly dead too, they can't feel Thiefnubu's policies. That was what Alausa said on TV yesterday. But let me tell you something. Whether you are for one Nigeria or you are for the breakup of the contraption, there's something I want you to know. APC, Egbekegbe and Thiefnubu and his gang that believes that they have captured Nigeria, and whoever is not on board is considered as the enemy of the country. In that same breath of where they have been dismissing any form of opposition or what have you, in that same breath, they are doing everything to show to you that they are indeed in panic mode. Now, I have said this before. It is theirs, that their 2027 charade, it is theirs to lose. They have every instrument to rig it. And if the people indeed are tired of them, right, then they also have the, all the required number to resist them. So that makes it 2027 a showdown if it is anything close. But time will tell. So the reactions of the APC, Egbekegbe, in northern part of Nigeria is of two reasons. It is believed that the fraud that Yakubu announced was able to be validated with the false figures cooked from some inner Sharia north to get Thiefnubu to become your president. So today, as much as Thiefnubu is now in charge, and some believes that the southern Nigeria is in his kitty. Some, I said some, but in reality, it is not. Okay, so they believe that if the northern Nigeria indeed caves in for this their opposition, right, it is not just Thiefnubu that will be going down. Everyone associated with Thiefnubu will go down. And here is another fear from the feelers, because to you, as maybe as a southerner, maybe to you it is about good governance and the rest of that, right? And as loud as it is, right? But to most of them in the northern part of Nigeria, which is also about good governance, but it is not mainly about that. It is mostly about the interest of the individuals who have been very much like prominently used in their previous rig in the northern part of Nigeria. So if they're not on board, that's a problem. So not only that Thiefnubu and APC are at the center will find it difficult to push whatever rigging they want to push through, even those APC governors in northern part of Nigeria, they may end up getting burnt. And this is why, as we've been told,
They are doing everything humanly possible, right, to change the narrative that they are currently spreading in the North. Do you know what that narrative is? Politicians who were with Thiefnubu and those who were not with Thiefnubu in 2023. So majority of them are going back to tell their people that Thiefnubu actually hates the North. I remember it is the same northern Nigeria where nepotism, impunity was pretty much like embraced. Don't get me wrong, I'm just giving you the account from all sides now, okay? So when Boko Haram was there, right, you know, the entire system was turned to the Fulani kind of like agenda, something that rattled the entire country for years when Boko Haram was there. And people said, well, if it gets to your turn, do whatever you want. And you could tell those qualified, those unqualified were drafted into, you know, important, you know, institutions in Nigeria simply because they are from northern Nigeria. A lot of people were watching. They said Egbere Jonathan did the same thing. They said when Jonathan was their president, right, that the Niger Deltans were all over the place and all that. So it becomes turn by turn. But 2 years after 8 years of that reign of program of ruin, 2 years after, Thiefnubu has taken the suffering to the next level. The next level that majority of them were told to endure for 8 years and no longer, not anymore, right? So it's about two groups now, right? Their criminal political class and their subservient voluntary slaves. So the voluntary slaves are always starving. They've always been put in that place. And not without the consent of their supposed criminal political class. Now, the criminal political class, out of power for 2 years, are about to bring down the sky using the suffering they possibly facilitated on their own people as the reason why heaven has to fall. So it's interesting, okay? So when you see them run around in northern Nigeria, it is not because of Thiefnubu alone. It is because of themselves. And it's about to really, really get down. So yesterday, like I said, George Akume, who happened to be the SGF from Benue, right? Middle Belt. He was the lead speaker. Then another person, which is Ribadu or Ribadol. So Ribadu was there to give his own performative theatrics as well, where he said the security in the country is so good now. Anyway, George Akume, whose state is under the siege of the Fulani terrorists, the place where over 200 people were slaughtered just a few weeks ago, was there to tell everybody that, you know what, it's about power. And the only pathway for northern Nigeria to get to power in 2031 will be to support Thiefnubu and all that. Now, everyone is protecting his own pot of soup. But I'm going to start with their host, and that is Sani, the governor of Kaduna, who actually told all of them that their failure was their own making. Let's start with that. Sani.
Office as governor in 2023, I was confronted with a Kaduna under siege. Insecurity casts a long, dark shadow over our communities. Banditry, terrorism, kidnapping, and violent crime have become daily specters. From the Kaduna-Abuja Expressway to Bindungwari, from Chukun to Igabi, Giwa, Kachia, and across the uneasy corridors of southern parts of our dear states. Fear was rampant. Kaduna, long celebrated for its resilience and cultural vitality, was being slowly eroded by chaos. The Kaduna-Abuja highway, once vibrant artery of commerce and movement, had become a corridor of dread, a painful symbol of governmental failure. The Abuja-Kaduna train attack of 2022 remains seared, into our collective consciousness as a grim testament to the depth of the security crisis. Entire communities were abandoned, markets closed, and Kaduna very spirit trembled under the weight of fear. Frankly, had we attempted to organize this conference under those conditions in May 2023, the hall will have been empty, or worse, rendered inaccessible by persistent insecurity. But we could not stand idle. We recognize instinctively that force alone, guns without governance, yields limited results. So we embrace a composite model, the Kaduna Peace model, a paradigm blend of proactive security, community engagement, dialogue, and institutional alignment. By God's grace, and with the unwavering support of President Bola Ahmed Thiefnubu, our fortunes began to change. We prioritized peace, reinvigorated our security agencies, empowered local vigilance groups, and engaged communities with empathy, respect, and humility. Criminal enclaves along Kaduna-Abuja highway were dismantled. Markets in Buningwari reopened after more than a decade. And ghost towns in Chukun, Igabi, Giwa, Kachia, Zangon Katab regained life. In the south of our state, through dialogue and reconciliation, we actively laid the ground for a lasting peace. The federal government under President Bola Ahmed Thiefnubu leadership stood firmly with us, supported us, and stood by us. I commend the National Security Advisor, Ribadu, whose coordination and resolve have ensured that our security responses are both intelligent and sustained. I salute the Honorable Minister of Defense, the Honorable Minister of State for Defense, the Chief of Defense Staff, our service chiefs, and all security leaders whose courage and vigilance continue to protect our people. They are gallant.
So we are grateful to them. I mean, if the people of Kaduna says security has improved, especially the southern Kaduna, I am going to partially agree, except anybody has any objection. When El Rufaya was there, the guy who imported the Fulani terrorists and boldly admitted to that on national TV, El Rufaya of Kaduna, southern Kaduna people were being slaughtered. Their paramount ruler was kidnapped, killed. His wife sexually attacked. His killers, the culprits, were never found. Right? So the killings in Kaduna was politically motivated. No thanks to the El Rufaya of Kaduna. So we can go into all of that. So the movement is no longer in favor with his own anointed successor, Sani. That seems to be a blessing, especially for the people of southern Kaduna. But you see all those things he's talking about, the highway and the rest of that. That is a lie. However, like I said, we can partially agree with him to some extent, and thanks to those who made that happen. Those who were allowed to do their job and chase the miscreant. Then what about the communities that these terrorists took over? I'm not going to go into all of that because that can be another conversation entirely. But the point there is that they were all there to give accounts, to praise Thiefnubu and give account of what they have benefited in case if people are not noticing. It is the turn of Ribadu. Listen to his own side. Tale by moonlight. His own is pretty much so funny that the supposed national security advisor to the president of the country is a pure politician, even though he was said to have been hired because of his investigative intelligence gathering, blah, 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 nonsense. And, you know, and since then, the guy has been showing how worthless he is and how worthless people can be elevated into the top rank in